Hi, guys, and welcome to Teen Talks. I'm Sierra. I'm going to be your host today, and welcome to episode 5 of Teen Talks, the college kids episode. So, just real quick before we start the episode and introduce you guys to our wonderful new guests, I'm gonna go over a few rules. We have a few things to go over. So everyone can address everyone correctly. I ask that you guys put your gender pronouns in your little names, and we don't do any slurs, hate speech, or offensive manner because this is a safe space where everyone can put their opinions and be respected. And I get Zoom is very confusing, but let's try not to talk over everyone else. All right. And that's everything. So then let's meet our guest. And I'm gonna intro this person. So returning for her second round of Teen Talks, I'm gonna start off with Kyra. Thank you so much for coming back.
Hey guys, I'm Kyra. I use she, her pronouns. I was born and raised in Malaysia, but I'm currently based in Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Rogue. I go by they, them pronouns, but I guess any is really fine. I was born in Pennsylvania, but I'm currently in college in Michigan, so that's pretty cool.
Hi, I'm Tanvi. I use she, her pronouns. I am originally from the Bay Area, but I'm currently in SoCal right now.
Hey guys, my name is Shanae. I use she, her pronouns. I am from the Philadelphia area. I still live here and I go to Temple University. That's about it. Thank you for inviting me, Siwa.
All right, so before we start with our first question to open up this round, I know some of you guys did it already, and if you guys feel comfortable, tell the viewers what colleges you're from.
So I go to the University of Otago in New Zealand. So I was doing remote classes, but I'm currently taking a semester off just because of COVID and everything. It's just really overwhelming with the time difference. But yeah.
I am at Adrian College in Michigan. It's at my first year freshman, so I'm currently in my second semester.
I go to Scripps College in Southern California, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm a sophomore at Temple for those who did not know. And that's pretty much it.
All right, so our first question. So some of you guys said you were freshmen, some of you guys said you were sophomores. So you guys got to experience college life before COVID hit. Compare that to now. What was that like?
So I am supposed to be going into my third year just because the semesters are different on that part of the world. But yeah, it was really weird. Not being able to, just go over to your friend's room and hang out and just being on the other side of the world, especially with how they're handling COVID on that end of the world. It's really hard just seeing my friends be able to, go outside and have a normal life while I'm stuck here because I chose to do a semester abroad in California last year. So that was something that I just kind of had to accept and be okay with. But yeah.
So I only got to spend a semester and a half in college, and I sort of had a rough start, so it was very difficult for me to get adjusted to college life. And I feel as though right when I felt comfortable, I had to go home. So it's very different. I don't really have anything to compare it to because I just haven't spent as much time at college, but it's, as Kyra said, it's very difficult to just not be able to go over to your friends' dorms or go hang out for lunch or something. It's really difficult.
Okay, so now that you guys are in college, you guys, I assume, have picked different majors. So how would you say comparing, maybe you experienced different things through your major, different experiences before COVID?
Repeat the question.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying, so you guys are probably doing different majors. So how would you say what experiences have you had through your major before COVID?
I would say before COVID, with my major being psychology, it allowed to broaden my horizons and join different groups that are part of connected to psychology and do internships and be parts of research. But now, because of COVID, your girl was stuck in the house and doing a lot of things virtually, and a lot of the internships and programs I want to be a part of was no longer um, in person. So everybody kind of feels a bit of a disconnect. Even if we have synchronous meetings, it's not the same as being in person and getting to know more. Because I think when everybody gets behind the screen, it's like I don't want to talk at all or connect the way they wanted to.
Right. And that must be hard, especially internships that you can't do in person anymore, that have to go online, and you're probably given instructions that just wouldn't be the same like face to face, because like being able to do it with your hands or however, it's hard. I can't say this because I'm not in college, by the way. These are all the college kids. I'm the oldest Teen Talks host, so I'm hosting this one. But I'm flying to college, but that's not the same, I think. So, Kyra, were you able to be in New Zealand at one point before you came back to California?
So I started college at 17 because I skipped a year of high school. But I started in 2019 because they start their years in February instead of like August or September. So I was in New Zealand that whole year. And then I made the decision that I wanted to do the whole of 2020 on exchange. And so I was going to do one semester at UC Berkeley, which is where I was for like 2 months, and then lockdown hit. And then I was going to do another semester in England. So I really did choose the worst time to decide to go on exchange. I mean, I couldn't have known that like anything like this was going to happen. But yeah, I think it just really took, like, to be completely candid, like, it took a huge toll on my mental health, just not being able to see my friends and, go to classes. And yeah, it was tough.
So, how is during the midst of a pandemic? You guys are in college. How is everyone's mental health?
It's not great. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Definitely someone that has prior mental health issues that used to go to therapy for them. It was kind of tough, especially with the fact that I moved 9, almost 10 hours away from where I used to live. So not being able to have the therapist that I used to have, you kind of think, okay, like new environment, I can handle it. I can safely say I've gotten back into therapy. However, I just got lucky that my campus offers therapy on campus. Uh, it's virtually, but I got lucky because I know I started really struggling, and I just had a huge breakdown that was not fun at all. So it's definitely a struggle, and I hope anyone else that's also struggling gets some help, because there's always someone that can help you. It's about looking it up and finding those hands that are reaching out to you.
Speaking as someone who also has mental health issues, this has been a very tough time for me. Like, about the therapy thing, doing it online is definitely very different than doing it in person. And when you're in college and all your lectures are online and you can't interact with people anymore, it's just, I feel as if I have very little connection to other people, which has really been making like my depression a lot worse.
Okay, so you guys have talked about like this obviously social distancing, this social disconnect. So how are you, if you guys are in dorms, or when you were in the dorm, how was it? Were you with like a group of people, or were you by yourself, or just like one roommate?
Okay, so I'm in dorms. I'm on campus, and because my campus is more on the smaller side, we've been able to do a lot more, which has been great. Um, I live in a quad, but I only have one roommate. The other one did not come back this semester. Um, Being within 4 walls for a long period of time has been interesting. I have teammates because I do play a sport on campus. I have teammates that live in the same dorm building as me. So there are times where we get together and we're able to hang out in the basement area, and we talk, we have fun. Sometimes we'll eat together, and that's really great. However, we see each other a lot. And so you kind of don't get introduced to new faces a whole lot. You don't see a whole lot of new faces too much. So being in a dorm isn't bad. I definitely prefer it to being at home doing college. However, there are times where, because you have to be in class virtually. Some classes, you just have to. And so it kind of gets overwhelming, especially just not having that human interaction with people every go out.
So I spent the last semester at home, but this semester I moved in with a few of my friends, and I definitely feel a lot better than I was living at home. Like obviously, like my parents were there, but it still felt very isolating, like not being able to see anyone my own age. So like being with my friends and like living together is a lot easier because I have people my own age to like interact with and like do homework with, and it's sort of like being together at college in a way.
Okay, I think definitely we have talked about you guys have talked about some of the seriousness, the hardships of college. Let's get into the juicy stuff. Well, for some of you guys in college, what are the college horror stories? Please go in.
All right. I got a good one. I have to say this. Okay. So where I'm at is called the Freshman Quad. There's 4 dorm buildings. 2 are co-ed. One is just girls. One is just boys. I live in one of the co-ed ones that hasn't been updated yet. So one of the freshman quad, the freshman dorms that's just the boys, they have established themselves as a frat house. At least last semester they did. So nothing was funnier than all of a sudden we hear in our lobby area just people talking, and like, yeah, normally that wouldn't seem weird, but like no one really comes out of their dorms. So me and some of my friends, because we were having a movie night, I mean, like teammates, we're constantly around each other, so we're like, okay, like we can do a movie night, it's no big deal, my dorm's big enough, we do that. We go upstairs just to see a whole bunch of boys. Like we taught like just a whole bunch of dudes, big dudes, like they're sport guys, so like football players, all that stuff. They're having like their frat meeting. They're in a circle. They're like talking all that stuff. All of a sudden, because we have one of those like fold out tables, like those white fold out tables, they body and they broke the table in half. It was ridiculous. 2 days after that, I was in my class, and one of my RAs is in that class with me, like he's behind me. And my professor goes, hey, did anything crazy happen over the weekend? And I told her that this is what happened. And my RA goes, yeah, I hated it. It was so much work to fill out. And I'm just like, I saw it happen as soon as they dropped on the table. I had to run because I was like, I'm not getting in trouble for this.
More stories, please. Someone else, more.
So I didn't know anyone like from high school or anything that like I was going to be there at the college that I was going to. But this girl who was there in middle school in one of my classes reached out to me, and she was like, I am going to the same college. Would you like to room together? And I was very hesitant because I hadn't talked to her in like 5 years. But I said okay. And that was a very bad decision. So the room that we were staying in, like it had a window, and then it was right next to a garden, so it had like, aside from the door that like leads out into the other dorm, so there was like a little door that led to the garden. And I came in on move-in day, and she was already there, and she and her mom were in the process of duct taping the windows and the door shut because of her allergies, and also because her mother was concerned that someone would come in through the other door, break in, and kidnap us. It was wild. She moved out after like 2 months. But yeah, for the first 2 months of college, The windows and the door were completely duct taped shut, and it was stuffy and kind of gross in there.
Did you not like rip them off, or you just didn't want to like get her like started?
I wasn't allowed to because she was like, "Oh, like I have a dust allergy. I don't want anything getting in here."
Wait, that's the worst allergy to have. She didn't decide to tell you. Oh, by the way, everything needs to be duct taped when I get there. If it just like doesn't tell you, it's like you're just like, oh, hey. I really would have. I would have just loved to close the door, like be like, oh my gosh, thanks. So we have a crazy frat house story, a crazy roommate. Please tell me you guys have more crazy roommate stories.
So I don't have a crazy roommate story, but I do have a horror story, giving me war flashbacks telling this. But so when you're in your first year, we have O week, so orientation week, and maybe like the second day of it, we have a toga party at the stadium. So it's kind of like a concert type sitch. So all of us get dressed up. You use a bed sheet or you use like a piece of white fabric. So I had like a cute little 2-piece moment going on. One of my roommates like safety pinned me, so I thought I was like all good. I was like feeling myself. I was like, damn, like, oh no, Aphrodite who? So we get there, and like keeping in mind that it's O week, and so legal drinking age there is like 18. I was 17. So everyone around me sent it way too hard. They were like, it was bad. And so start of the event, it was fine. Everyone was dancing and vibing. And then it got really rowdy because everyone just kept getting drinks. And people were like rubbing up on me. I was getting like pushed around. I like found this guy who was in my first year res, and he's like a big dude. He's like a rugby player. So I just held on to him, and like him and his like, he thought he was like really doing something. He was like, oh yeah, like she needs me. And I was like, I'm literally like holding on to you for survival. Like, don't get it twisted. So at one point, because people were rubbing up on me, my toga got ripped off. And I burst into tears because I was terrified. And he was like, oh shoot. And so he like literally like brought me to safety and like got some other friends to like bring me home. But yeah, that was an experience.
Was it not both of the 2 pieces just gone?
Everything was gone.
No!
It was like I was wearing a bathing suit like underneath, so it wasn't like that bad, but I felt very exposed because I was.
That gives me like one of those sequences. It's like you're like getting tossed around, and you know how like you do the crazy Looney Tunes spin, and then it's like.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I nearly fell over so many times. Like I don't know how I actually like didn't get trampled. But yeah.
Okay, that's a good warning, kids. Toga parties, never do them. Janae, you got any juicy stories for us?
Not juicy, just highly interesting stories. Mine is similar to hers because it was my first time at a white frat party, and it was crowded. It was so crowded. Everybody jumping up and down, and you can barely move in there without literally bumping into 5 people at a time. So my friends and I decided to be in the back wall. So it's like a little space because there's like a bench right there and a trunk, like a little actual old school 18th century trunk that they decided to stand up on. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm to be down here by myself. I don't like any of these people. I see hardcore drugs being passed on trays like there were little desserts. But yeah, so that was that.
Yeah, you guys
like rainbow.
They do that at parties. Like I've heard of that, where like they put the pills on like the trays and like pass them around. Yeah.
Do you want one? That's not for me. That's for everybody else. And of course, you have your beer. So it's very highly different from your own culture parties to a whole different race. Because it's like, okay, no other types of drinks besides beer, and then you have the hardcore drugs. That's a bad mix, first of all. Second of all, because many of them were already intoxicated, and they're fooling each other. We have the red LED lights. I'm like, this sets the mood for disaster. which it did. Because I felt somebody having intercourse on my back. Full blown in the middle of the dance floor. And if y'all know me, you know how it takes a while for me to get upset. But once I felt something, it's like that's not it. That's not. Yeah. So listen, I'm like, I pushed them back. I'm like, yo, you were all the way over there on the other side near the stage. How'd you get back here in the back?
Little progression
that I did not see coming. Because I was worried about the people who are not from Temple who went to the party. Because I was with them. But it's like, hey, they know people going at this party. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to go. But that was the worst experience. So I'm here pushing the person. Well, the two people, I'm like, yo, get off, get off, get off. I have a soft voice with loud behind music. Nobody can hear me, but you can see the anger go from 10% to 99%. If I say get off 3 times, and you're not off of me because you want to do the nasty on my person, leave.
Was it like you pushed them off and then they like were back?
Came back. I'm like, yes. I'm like, y'all. I know people are watching y'all. Not only that, you have one that's on my back. You have 2 that's in the cut. One that's clearly on the wall because she's all up in here like this. I'm like, oh, dear. Yeah.
Did this happen at the yoga party, Kyra?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, in the middle of the mosh pit, like, I wouldn't put anything past them.
And my friends had to get down and tell them, yo, get off of her. And they were like, wait, huh?
No.
They looked at me and they was like, I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry. And they just moved up off me. But they were still right there. I'm like, no.
Wow. I feel like your guys' stories of like Rogues is like very funny, like kind of wholesome but like stupid. Tom B's was like, okay, like kind of crazy a little bit, and then the Kyra's like, okay, that's great. And then Janae's was just like, I feel like it went like that, like, and then it's like I pushed them off. No, they came back 3 times. Oh no.
All we did was do a progression from like sane to white.
Right.
Like a nice progression.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing wrong with white folk. It's just if you have a whole group of them within a frat, it's just wild. And then I later learned that one of the frat brothers who I've actually seen and had a conversation with has charges against him for rape. I'm like, I was there and I saw him with that girl. So y'all was in the corner with
not the corner.
Not the
corner. It's like you're very much like away, but like very much apparent. Like the corner, but like is everyone really not looking? Like at least once of like the. I mean, okay. That was.
I'm not over that. It's like, how blacked out were they to have no shame? It's like, who raised y'all?
Nobody, apparently. Because for it to be multiple people to do so.
I think I can't get over the fact it's like, okay, get off. Okay, da-da-da-da. Oh, like,
yeah.
Was it the alcohol and the drugs?
I think it was. Because I saw her pop a few pills before, like when she was up there. And I'm like, y'all really having acid sheets on trays and Rainbow Fortune weed cookies and all this other type of stuff. Ecstasy, you name it, they had it. Minus regular weed that you roll in a blunt or a joint. Like every party. But no, they want to have that special drug that makes people fall off of roofs at parties. Yes, at Temple we had a girl who went to a party. No mask, no nothing. It was crowded. And it went to the news that, hey, this Temple student was partying on some type of drugs, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, that sounds like a normal white party. And she fell off the roof, like 3 stories.
Did she like live or?
Yeah, she lived. She lived. Just walked off. I'm like,
He said, "I'm a baddie. I'm not going down."
Yeah, she really said, "You can't kill me."
Oh, imagine like she's falling, like, yo.
seeing the video, I'm just like, she was fine.
There's a video.
This was a video. It's now deleted. I can't find it anymore. So I'm like, okay. But when I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, TikTok plus Temple Kids is not a really good mix because a lot of them have interesting stories. Like, if you ever come to North Philly or if you've been around Philly, you know this. People with dirt bikes and other illegal vehicles, four-wheelers, whatever, up and down Broad Street. And you know how mean some people don't know how to dress appropriately for the cool, cold weather at night?
Hey, a hoe never gets cold.
So, you know, certain people want to wear tube tops and booty shorts. And not being from Pennsylvania or the Philadelphia area, they looked at those biker dudes, of course, and they're like, hey, y'all seem cool. It's going to be a wild night. Let's not catch a ride with them people. You're not from here. You're asking dudes with four-wheelers and dirt bikes running red lights to, hey, can we hang with y'all?
That was a rhyme. Just wanted to say that was kind of fire. I heard
Thank
that.
you.
Spit, but sorry. Continue.
So, like I said, I was going to the who's like explaining how it was her and her friends got on their dirt bikes or whatever, and she felt scared because how fast they were going. 1, 2, running red lights. 3, chasing away from running away from the cops. I'm like, okay. So she said I was so scared, and then at the end of the day, they took us to this park in West Philly, and we have to do sexual favors for them in order for us to get back home. I'm like,
Oh no, they did not take him to West Philly.
West Philly, and
Why Will Smith got out of there?
oh no, but they just want to say, can we ride? Can we ride with y'all? Not from here. Y'all do not know what they do, but now you know. And then take videos and Snapchats and post them on Instagram and make it seem like that was the best night of your life. But then once it's over, you have TikTok, and I was like, yeah, this happened to me, guys.
That's so. That could have went anywhere, you know, like, oh, like, take us to a party. No, we're gonna take you like to literally probably like the other side of like Philly, and then just. So I think it's safe to say that it's like you're chilling, you know, you're pretty cool, but the people around you, they're the crazy parts.
Yes.
So what would you guys have to say to the teens that are watching this video? How to prepare for college in all the right ways?
Carry pepper spray. That's all I'm saying.
If you have any hesitation about rooming with someone, don't room with them at all.
Make sure when you go, you're safe, but you also have fun. Because if you're not having fun, the whole thing's just miserable.
But most definitely carry like some type of self-defense. Most definitely pepper spray. Make like yourself a little keychain. This is what I did. Like, I have a pocket knife. Like, you can't tell it's a pocket knife. Pepper spray, mace, a taser, like whatever that's sharp and help you get out of any situations, because you know that stuff can happen. And just make sure, like, especially for the roommate thing, like if you question if you are capable. I'm sorry, I saw Rogue and a flash of light, so that distracted me.
Sorry, my roommate was here and she just left and she turned off the light on instinct because usually I just don't have the light on in my room because I have lights above my bed. But she realized I was doing this and she came back.
I was definitely listening. I was like, yeah, that was like.
Yeah, most definitely just be safe, have fun, because that's part of college, finding yourself and having fun and learning what you like.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, make sure it's with the right group of people, because I know
do drugs in a party, or frat boys who break white tables because
But is it a frat meeting or a frat party unless some table is getting demolished? I mean, did none of us listen to John Mulaney's I Was at a Party and people just dropped on the pool table?
I feel like we've just first of all, thank you guys for giving us this like different spectrum of like kind of like the seriousness of like COVID and like college, but then also like that fun kind of like stories you'll have to tell later, because I think that just separates it from also being serious, but also you guys just made it fun. And this was a great time just listening to you guys. So starting with Rogue, if you guys would like link your socials, where can people find you? If you guys viewers, you don't catch what they say, I will put it in the description below. But please.
All right. You can definitely catch me on Instagram at queenofawesome_12. I'm pretty sure it is.
It'll be in the description.
And if any of you guys want to see my cringy TikToks where, because I've begun to learn how to play the guitar, I post on there sometimes. It'll be at PHYCORO.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram at TAN_5601.
So my main Instagram is at Kyra Shahana. My poetry Instagram is at The Multiculturalist Poet. And my TikTok is Kai and Phi.
My main Instagram is May_Chizzy, NAE_CHIZZZIE. And my photography page is at Simply Bow Studios.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for watching the episode. Bye, everyone.
Hey, guys.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at TeenTalks.teen.
And hey, don't forget to check out all our other episodes streaming now on Spotify and YouTube.